May I have your attention, please? If you have not done so at this time, please silence all cell phones and pagers, and please sign in. Thank you.
Good morning. This meeting of the Louisiana Tax Commission is hereby called to order. This meeting is being held at the offices of the Louisiana Tax Commission at 1051 North 3rd Street, Suite 225, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The date is Wednesday, June 13th, 2018, and the time is 10:03 a.m. Please call the roll.
Chairman Shahardy.
Here.
Commissioner Wagaspat.
Here.
Commissioner West.
Present.
Commissioner Vercher.
Here.
Commissioner Wood.
Here.
5 present and a quorum.
Thank you. There being no old business to take up at this time, I will ask for a motion for the approval of the May 23rd, 2018 minutes, the minutes from May 23rd, 2018, a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Wagaspat.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner West.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. I'll make a motion that we defer the approval of the minutes of the May 30th, 2018 meeting.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Wagaspat.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner West.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. I'll make a motion that we defer for 1 week the 2017 ratio study results for the parishes of East Carroll, Sabine, St. Helena, and Terrebonne.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Wagaspat.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner West.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. I will now have a presentation by Mr. Drew Hoffman regarding the request for a rehearing for the appeal of TBM WC Sabine LLC versus the Sabine Parish Board of Review, docket number 17-22085-001.
Good morning, Commissioners. I think you were all previously provided with a copy of the request for rehearing we received from the assessor in this matter. Just want to briefly brief y'all on what y'all can do or can't do regarding the rehearing. It was submitted on May 21. As far as we know, the taxpayer hadn't submitted any response, but they did receive a copy of the request for rehearing pursuant to the assessor's certificate of service. Now that y'all have had an opportunity to review it, y'all can summarily deny or summarily grant the request for rehearing. You could also request briefs from the taxpayer since they have not filed anything. Or you could give both sides an opportunity on a hearing on the actual request, not granting the rehearing on the appeal, but give the parties an opportunity to present oral argument on the request for rehearing. Happy to answer any other questions.
The previous year is under appeal, right? And no decision's been rendered?
Correct. Several of the previous tax years are under appeal. We are awaiting a decision from the Louisiana 3rd Circuit on, I think, the appeal from 2 years ago. None of these appeals have made it up to the Supreme Court yet.
All right, any other questions? All right, I'll move that we deny the request for the rehearing for the appeal of TBM WC Sabine LLC versus Sabine Parish Board of Review, docket number 17-22085-001.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher.
Yes.
Commissioner Wagaspat.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner West.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. Next item on the agenda are the appeals. Every one of the items on the appeal agenda today have either settled or been withdrawn, except one, which is the appeal of John Bossier Jr. versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 17-22176-002, which we will hear this morning. I would ask anybody who is going to testify this morning to please come forward and be sworn in as a witness.
Good morning, gentlemen. I think you'll have done this before. I'll administer the oath. Please approach one of the microphones, affirm the oath by stating I do, and state your name for the record. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Go ahead.
Russell Amaraz, Orleans Parish Assessor's Office. I do.
Mark Gillespie, Louisiana Tax Commission. I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. This morning, the Tax Commission received an email from Mr. Bossier informing us that he has jury duty in Judge Paul Bonan's court in Orleans Parish Criminal District Court. In his email, Mr. Bossier requested a continuance and also asked that all evidence from his prior hearing last year to be incorporated into the record for this year's hearing. I would like to make a motion while the request, or make a motion that we move forward and hear this appeal today. If there's, I don't know if we need to do a roll call or.
If that's the form of a motion, I
Make a
would second it.
motion. Okay.
I agree.
All right, make a motion that we hear the appeal today, seconded by Mr. Vercher.
Commissioner Vercher?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagaspat?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner West?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi.
Yes. I'll now make a motion that, at the request of Mr. Bossier, that we include as part of the record in today's hearing, that we incorporate the record from the prior year's hearing last year for 2601 Octavia Street, New Orleans, Louisiana.
I would also second that motion.
Commissioner Vercher?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagaspat?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner West?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardi.
Yes. All right. With all of that out of the way, I think I've done all the preliminaries we need to do on this matter. Mr. Bossier, like I said, is not here. His testimony and pictures from last year's hearing are incorporated into the record for today's hearing. So that basically boils down to his testimony. I'll ask the assessor's office to go ahead and make their presentation. Mr. Alvarez.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. So the assessor's office is subject to the appeal last year, placed the value back at the undamaged condition. We disagreed with the Commission's ruling last year. It went to the Board of Review. The Board of Review upheld that value, but not upheld the value, pretty much just kicked the can down the road, so it would come to the tax commission this year. That's where we find ourselves here. We did a review of the information given to us, the appeal from the tax commission staff appraiser and the property owner's information. And we feel that we disagree with the value of the staff appraiser. The subject property located on Octavia Street was purchased in 2013 for $266,000. It's located near Jefferson Avenue, approximately 1 block away. From the pictures provided in the Louisiana staff appraisal, it appears that there is some damage to the property due to the street construction, and condition issues do exist. We disagree with the appraiser's value, which places the building value at $600, which is less than the cost of salvage for the materials of the building itself, and is less than half of 1 penny per square foot. The photos that we were given show damage to the basement level of the home. We don't have photos going throughout the entire property showing significant damage to the entire property, which would warrant such an extremely low building price. We do not have an estimate summary from a licensed contractor. The only thing that we have is what was provided last year by the taxpayer, where a cost of repair in his suit at $247,358.55, with a small summary preliminary statement of claims. However, there's not an itemized breakdown of actually what's going on with the property. So much for drywall, so much for foundation issues, so much for painting, so much for electrical, so on and so forth. The cost in the civil suit we can't substantiate by any other documentation. The disagreement we have with the appraisal provided is that the subject property is a superior location. The Ursuline neighborhood average sales are $168 a square foot. The comparables used is East Broadmoor neighborhood, where the average sales are $104 a square foot, and Ferret neighborhood where the average sales are $111 a square foot, suggesting that the subject property is a superior location to to all the comparables used in the appraisal. There was no location adjustment made to the subject property or to the comparables to put them up to the same level as the subject property. If that is the case, we feel that it's more appropriate to remove the land value out of the comparables and get a building value only for the subject property using an appraisal grid, and then adding the land value back into the subsequent building value that was calculated in the appraisal. Building only values for the comparable sales would show $31.71 a square foot for comp 1, $59.22 a square foot for comp 2, and $60.93 for comp 3, with a median value of $50.63. Applied to the square footage of the property would be $60,148 a square foot, which would round approximately $60,100 for the building value of the subject property. There was no value given to the basement level, and we know that there's a contributory value for a basement level where there's 1,188 square feet of basement level. The assessor's office feels that adjustment should have been made in the appraisal grid for the basement and for the location adjustment. Provided to the commission is a summary of sales from for Jefferson Avenue over a 5-year span, and compares sales of homes prior and post street construction. The sales suggest that an overall value has increased over the ensuing years despite the ongoing construction and being located on the actual street construction as opposed to next to the actual construction where the subject property is located 1 block away. The assessor's office feels that a property with an active homestead exemption should not be valued at less than 1 penny per square foot. And with that in mind, doing a calculation based on poor condition properties, we feel that the value of $123,600 total, with $80,400 for the land, $43,200 for the building, is a reasonable request.
The comps that the assessor's office used, did those properties have similar damage to what this property has?
The comps that we used, yes, they did. The summary of sales did not. That's an average condition of sales throughout a 5-year span. We just wanted to show that properties are increasing over the number of years. We couldn't substantiate whether or not they had damage because we couldn't go in, but I would assume that properties on the actual street construction, on the actual street where construction is being taken place, would have some kind of damage. If properties a block over is having substantial damage, there has to be some kind of condition issue. Now, that's only my assumption, as we couldn't document that because we're not allowed inside property.
Let me tell you what my issue is. My concern is, if I'm looking to purchase a house and I find the house has slab damage, cracked slabs, I'm looking at lot value. I mean, I don't care if the house is still standing there, but you know, my wife and I were looking for considering selling our existing home and either building or buying an existing home. One of the properties we looked at looked like a potential piece of property we could buy until we found out it had Chinese drywall. And we'd have won the Kentucky Derby this past weekend, how fast we ran away. You know, so slab damage, you know, it's one thing with cracked sheetrock. If you know, we talk about some settlement or something, when you got cracked slabs, that amount to me is a huge problem in the resale of those properties. I think it damages the value of the property significantly.
If I remember from the testimony, there was so much slab or so much subsidence, there was even light between the base plate and the slab itself.
You can see the light through underneath.
So you can see the light through the wall. I mean, it's almost a tear down, obviously.
Was the assessor's office able to communicate the need for the itemization that you were testifying, that that they didn't break it down? Were you able to communicate that to the taxpayer, that that's what you wanted and needed?
Yes, Commissioner, we communicated that last year. We were told that.
This year, for this case.
We did not communicate that this year, no. When we requested that information last year, we were told that it was subject to a lawsuit and it couldn't be given to us, and all we were given was the summary. The assessor's office does not deny that there's condition issues. The assessor's office felt that had a itemized construction cost been provided to us, we could have come up with a more accurate value. That there's no way to substantiate what's going the actual cost to repair in the lawsuit, because it doesn't break it down what is actual necessary for repair and what may be some kind of aesthetic repair that doesn't necessarily need to be made to bring it up to livable condition. We would like to have that information so we can make a more accurate valuation of the property. The more information we have, the better our values can be, but it was denied to us. So we did not ask for this year because we were denied last year.
Any more questions? Mr. Gillespie?
Okay, Mark Gillespie with the Tax Commission. Excuse me. I did appraise the property at 2601 Octavia Street. A very unique situation. As you know, the foundation is in need of much repair, and you can see it from the outside and the inside. The taxpayer provided a contractor's cost to cure for $247,359. Of course, I did not
Say that number again, please.
$247,359, and I did not consider that in my appraisal. I did the market approach using 3 sales that were within 1 mile of the subject. I had a list of sales, these sales here, that if you look here at the list of sales that I have, the prime, most of the sales, I think there were about maybe 12. Most of them were bank-owned sales, so I was not able to use them. And so anyway, I used 3 sales that were market, and came up with a value of, I believe it was $81,000. The land value at $80,400, and the improvement value at $600. Now, I'd like to make sure that that I convey that I know this is very unusual, but if you were to renovate what we consider a poor condition house, which may have been flooded, you're looking at, of course, you got to gut it, and then you need to replace much of the electrical work and so forth. This particular situation, you got a whole basement that is in. It looks like
It's sinking.
It's awful. It's really bad, and in order to replace all of that, you'd have to tear down the top portion, because it's chain wall on the outside, and so anyway, so when I came up with my value, I thought, well, that sounds a little outrageous, but and then considering the taxpayers' cost to cure for $247,359, it made sense to me. So I think this is an accurate appraisal. I think it supports the actual structure. So anyway.
So are you saying that on your inspection, it's your opinion that the house needs to come down? Or?
Well, I'm not sure, because I did not read the cost to cure documents that he provided that closely. I just looked at kind of the basics, but it was a licensed contractor, and he provided that. I don't know.
$247,000
Yes, sir.
repair.
So, and I don't know if that contractor was recommending that they tear down the top portion. There may be methods that they can use in order to support that while they repair it. I don't know. But I would think it would have to come down in order to repair all of that, because they have to remove the entire bottom area in order
Mr. Gillespie.
And re-level
this.
Just quick question. The information provided by the taxpayer, is it something different from this preliminary statement of claims?
I'm not sure because the preliminary statement of claim, I don't know if I had a
Because
copy of
this
that.
is the information provided by the taxpayer that says that it's done by a contractor, and then the number you're stating comes from the lawsuit. Is there anything else that he provided other than that?
Yeah, he provided, I think he provided me with
An
an actual,
itemized
I think so.
contractor
Well, I don't know
estimate?
if it was itemized, but I knew there was a contractor's, it had a contractor's address and name on the top, and then
Because
on the cover sheet. and
None of
then
that
it-
was provided in
it had
this
a-
documentation.
yeah, so-
And,
And I don't have that with me, I didn't bring it, but,
and there's absolutely a way to repair the basement area without having to tear the entire house down. I know that as being very familiar with construction.
Mr. Gillespie, did you see any damage that was more extensive in this appraisal than the prior?
no, it was the same.
It was the same?
Essentially the same. yes.
Okay,
And if there was more damage, I couldn't tell.
right.
And do we have any information as to whether the lawsuit has been settled or if it's
No,
ongoing?
ma'am, I don't know.
And if we assume that 247 or 247,000 is the actual cost to renovate, and it's not a complete tear down, that basically wipes out the improvement value as originally set by the assessor, correct?
Essentially, and that's kind of the way I looked at it when I finished.
So
my
it's really a
appraisal.
tear down or enough cost to renovate to completely replace the improvement value.
Right,
What we're
and,
looking at.
of course, my
We're getting-
assignment.
As the chairman said, we're kind of getting back to land value only.
Yeah, because my assignment was to determine the market value, and so who would buy this? You know, they, if someone were to come in and buy it, they would consider all of that cost to cure and tearing down and so forth, so.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the assessor's efforts in trying to get the number, from their standpoint, it makes sense, but I see no reason to change. I'm prepared to make a motion. My motion
Mr.
would be.
Waxback?
My motion would be to go with the land value of 80,400 and the improvement value of 600, for a total value of 81,000.
I'd second that.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Waxback,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner West,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Thank you. As I mentioned earlier, the other items on the appeal agenda today have all either been settled or withdrawn from the hearing today. Next on the agenda, the consideration of change orders.
Tanisha Malvo on behalf of the Louisiana Tax Commission. Today, we have a total of 842 change orders. Staff has reviewed those change orders and requests that 763 be approved and 79 placed under pending status for further review.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we accept the staff recommendations to approve 763 change orders and place 79 on pending status.
Second?
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagasback.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner West,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. The Tax Commission hereby accepts all pre-filed documents and oral testimony into the record as Taxpayer Exhibit 1 in Globo, Assessor Exhibit 1 in Globo, and Louisiana Tax Commission Staff Appraiser Exhibit 1 in Globo for the appeal hearing conducted today. There being no other matters to come before the commission at this time, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second.
Commissioner Vercher,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagasback.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner West,
Yes.
and Chairman Shahardy.
Yes.